For as long as I can remember, I've been at war with time. Not because I didn't have enough of it, but because I kept wasting it. Every morning I'd wake up with this invisible weight pressing against my chest. I'd grab my phone, scroll through meaningless things, and tell myself, just 5 more minutes. But those 5 minutes always turned into hours. By the time I'd realize what I'd done, it would already be too late. The day was slipping through my fingers again. I'd look at my to-do list, half of it untouched, and feel that familiar sting of guilt creeping in. It wasn't just laziness. It was something deeper, a quiet, constant fear of starting. Because starting meant I could fail. At first, I didn't even notice how deep I'd fallen into that loop. My room became a reflection of my mind. Messy, scattered, unfinished. Piles of clothes, notebooks filled halfway, projects half begun. Everything about my life screamed almost. And yet, at night, when I'd lie in bed, I'd picture the version of myself I wanted to be. Disciplined, confident, unstoppable. The kind of person who wakes up early and makes things happen. I'd whisper to myself, "Tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow always felt safer than today. The first shift happened quietly. It wasn't some grand epiphany or motivational video. It was something small, something ordinary. One morning, I woke up late. Again. The sun was already high, slicing through the blinds. I remember staring at the ceiling, feeling that strange mix of shame and exhaustion. I didn't want to live like this anymore. I walked to the mirror, still half asleep, and I barely recognized the person staring back. Pale skin, tired eyes, a faint sadness hiding behind them. That reflection hit me harder than any words ever could, and I thought, if I don't change now, when will I? The first few days were chaos. I decided I'd start waking up early, write down my goals, and actually follow through. But my body resisted every step. The alarm would ring, and my first instinct was to throw it across the room. My brain would whisper, "You deserve rest. You can try again tomorrow." It was like fighting a shadow version of myself, a voice that always knew my weakest points. There were mornings I'd win, and mornings I wouldn't. Sometimes I'd fall back into old habits for days, and the guilt would come flooding back, whispering that maybe I wasn't built for discipline. But something inside me refused to quit this time. Maybe it was anger, maybe it was hope, maybe both. I started small. 10 minutes of reading, a quick workout, cleaning my desk. Nothing big, just enough to remind myself that I could move. And every time I finished something, even something small, I felt a spark, not motivation, but momentum. The days stopped blending together. I began to notice details again. The sound of birds before sunrise, the cold touch of water on my face, the quiet satisfaction of crossing something off a list. It wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, but it was real. The turning point came one night around 2 a.m. I was sitting at my desk, surrounded by half-finished notes and a dozen browser tabs. My head was heavy, my eyes burned. I had been working, then distracting myself, then working again, a cycle of guilt and exhaustion. And then I just stopped. Everything went still. The hum of my computer, the faint ticking of the clock, even the sound of my own breathing. It all felt louder. I realized I'd spent years trying to feel ready before doing anything. But readiness never came, because readiness isn't real. Only action is. That thought broke something open in me. Or maybe it fixed something that had been broken for too long. I turned off all distractions, closed every tab, and worked. Not because I felt like it, but because I finally understood that feelings don't build the life you want. Habits do. Since that night, things haven't been perfect. Some days I still stumble. Some mornings I still snooze. But the difference now is that I don't give those moments the power to define me anymore. I stopped waiting to feel motivated. I stopped chasing the perfect day to start. I just start, even when it's messy, even when it hurts. Because every small decision matters. Every glass of water I drink, every time I choose to write instead of scroll, every time I push through the fog. It's all shaping who I'm becoming. Now, when I wake up early and the world is still asleep, I feel this quiet kind of peace. The kind that doesn't come from success, but from alignment, knowing that I'm finally living in sync with what I want. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, again and again, especially when it's hardest. Because growth doesn't announce itself. It creeps in, softly. In the choices no one sees. In the mornings you almost gave up. In the tiny victories that slowly rewrite who you are. Sometimes I still catch myself thinking about the old me, the one who waited for motivation to knock on his door. He was always waiting for the right moment, never realizing it would never come. Now, I understand something simple but powerful. Discipline isn't about control. It's about love. The kind of love that shows up for yourself when no one else will. I don't know where this road leads yet. Maybe I'll fall again. Maybe I'll rise higher than I imagine. But what I know is this. The hardest prison to escape is the one built by your own excuses. And the day you start breaking through it, even just a little, is the day life starts to open up. So if you're stuck, like I was, tired, paralyzed, waiting, just start. Not tomorrow, now. Because every small action you take is a vote for the person you're becoming. And someday you'll wake up, look around, and realize you've become the person you once thought was impossible.